awakenings. So it's going to be a little tame at first.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, it's very, you got your regular, your normal, Imies, App, Mash, Drakkar and Juliet Pryode very significantly, but that Estelle is a cheeky little character that can just kind of kill you out of nowhere sometimes, so we'll see if the side of Polar Cortex is going to be able to get some of those kills onto the middle or on the side in general overall. But, ooh, I'm lagging out. That's fine. Oh, no, I'm back. All good. Yeah, now we got the Fool on defense. Doesn't have that barrier. But that is fine for now, as we gonna get knocked back, not quite into the middle hole. And that is gonna be both barriers down, one for each side.
Yeah, we do have open goals. We have almost the Cyber Swipe Glitch Pop combo. We almost able to get completely around the Atlas, though. Crystal Thorns are going to send it backwards. Wisp able to get backwards. A little bit of back passing there as well. Giga Blast almost takes the Estelle off the map. Named Chaotic going to be trying to dribble there, but gets interrupted by a barrage, by a Glitch Pop. Strike Shot interrupts the attempt by WEEB to score there. And we're just going to have a lot more action here. Glitch Pop coming forward. Fool trying to get it through, and it's going to be Estelle going all the way into the goal off of that one.
Yeah, to Polar Cortex losing their barrier very quickly on in that point, but ultimately they're going to be able to come out on top there now as we get into the second point here. The Fool and A both have their flip available, as well as Wisp on the defensive side of these little bees. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Defense just pretty regular for the time being. That Cosmic Expanse no longer available for the Fool. A uses that flip and gets it past Wisp, who thought it was going to go kind of out, but ultimately gets knocked back into the weird angle behind the barrier. And that is going to be the Fool still with the flip available in the corner. Zaxmac, that turret not quite going to be able to amount to much, as we taken very low. Name Chaotic low as well. We'll see if anybody gets taken off the field quite yet, as Zaxmac has that flip available. Wisp with no energy, is Name Chaotic A working their way up the field, trying to get something going. The Barrage and the Giga Blast going to be able to keep it out for now.
We do see that WEEB is now recovered enough to not be staggered, but is still quite low on HP. The Barrage takes it through the dash punch. Shotgun into the Glitch Pop is really nice. Force out the core flip on the Atlas with a great angle to the bottom, though. The Fool is able to get the clear forward. Piercing shot. Imi turret coming out here. We are in overtime. We are red coring all over the place. The Rose Rope does not get the connection. The Barrage counters the punch. Giga Blast is able to knock Name Chaotic backwards just a little bit, but doesn't get too much of a connection there. Crystal Thorn's going to whiff there. As projection sends it forward. Name Chaotic does not get the pickup, though. Secondaries from Atlas forced out as well. Piercing shot gets WEEB, does a lot of damage, but he is able to use the invisibility just to evade a little bit there. Name Chaotic hunting down this Drakkar, though, gets a lot of damage. Almost sets him up for the strike shot kill. Piercing shot as well is going to go wide. That's a lot of abilities invested here into not killing a Drakkar. Big Blast sends it up to the top. Zaxmac playing very far back, though. It's actually going to be Drakkar getting the kill there, and that is punishment for taking away WEEB's Julie there. He was looking for that one all game long. Finally gets it. It's going to be a pass down to the Imi with the core flip here. The shotgun comes out, but Wisp unfortunately whiffs the Barrage. And Atlas from downtown is able to get the goal, unfortunately for the side of WEEB's Little Bees.
Some of that extra core speed allotted to L, the characters actually on the core, in that overtime proc. And now, I mean, Polar Cortex up 2-0 currently in the set, and they're looking pretty comfortable going into the rest of the set, as Wisp uses that secondary, is going to be able to keep the core out for now. And that's WEEB working his way up the field with that shotgun to be able to get it out, and that's going to be Wisp walking up super far up with that flip and getting that goal. And now WEEB's Little Bee is down 2-0, and now they're up. Now they're almost getting ready to tie it up here if they're able to keep this game going.
Wisp, the giver and taker of goals, made up for last set there with the core flip in front of the net on that one. We have the Imi turret again. The deployment from Zaxmac is really nice. She put a lot of pressure there, gets the barrier. Wisp running forward here with the eject button, doesn't get to the connection there. Is actually staying very far forward, but Zaxmac covers the backside of it. The piercing shot gets it forward, but not into the barrier there. Unfortunately, A also is going to miss the strike there. Barrage keeps it forward once again. Cyber Swipe comes out. Ash projection sends it forward, but a great glitch pop once again sends it back. But Named Chaotic with the dash punch forces out the core flip from the Imi. Giga Blast gets it down. WEEB not quite able to kill this Estelle. Puts a lot of damage and a lot of abilities invested in that one. It's going to be a piercing shot to secure the set for Polar Cortex.
Yeah, just a nice clean setup there. A caught Wisp out in the open, and now Polar Cortex up 1-0 in this game. as the Fool going to be able to pick up that MVP for this set, hovering that stacks on stacks for now. And I mean, this is a really kind of crazy draft. Siege Machine ultimately picked up for the Fool. Gonna love that extra projectile range, love that creation duration and damage. But then on the other side of that is gonna be Wisp picking up the stacks on stacks. Gonna be able to run all over the field if he can stack those pancakes. And that's also going to be a lot of size, a lot of that Drakkar with the Demolitionist and the Among Titans as well. That is a Drakkar that is just towering over. It's basically Godzilla here. As now getting into the second set, I think both teams got some great awakenings, but overall, I think I'd kind of prioritize. I think I'd kind of call Weasel to Bees having won that draft. I mean, they got a lot of speed and a lot of size for their roster. But as we get into it, it's pretty even, and you may not have any speed or size if you're gone, which Zack very low health bar with no evade to his name. So we'll see what ends up happening here.
Yeah, we do see Zaxmac coming forward there with the glitch up with the Cyber Swipe. A lot of abilities invested once again, but not even able to get the barrier open. Wisp trying to get through with the barrage there, but Aimcounter gets the pass up. Piercing shot from A is able to get it through. Wisp into the corner, but back into the corner. Here goes Name Chaotic. Now has the core flip available. The Fool is playing very far upwards and also has that Siege Machine. That's going to be the kill from WEEB. Traded for a goal, so you kill the enemy forward that has core flip, so that's good. But unfortunately, the core does escape, and so it goes up to the top, is secured by POLR Coretex, and generally, trading kill for goal is a pretty good trade.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is going to be POLR Coretex up 1-0 in this second set, and I mean, Name Chaotic simply lost a little bit of energy for that kill. And I mean, now POLR Coretex looking no less strong, as now Name Chaotic looking a little weak, looking a little damaged, I guess, with this offense. But it is the Fool, it is A, able to keep it out for now as Wisp runs up with that eject button, but not quite able to get anything going just yet.
Yeah, we do see that We's Little Bees are playing very conservatively here, very defensively. Almost killing Name Chaotic, though. Would have been great by Zaxmac. Core Flip comes out, so dash projection, but it is going to be struck away in the end. Shotgun going to whiff. Punch. An invisible lizard just stole the orb. No, where did it go? Must have been the wind. Molten Bolt comes out, though. Takes a lot of damage for that and doesn't get the barrier. The Fool has just been absolutely perfect on this defense, forcing so many resources out from the side of the Bees, forcing so many just offenses time and time again. And then you see that immediately POLR Coretex, A, and Name Chaotic are just able to snap back across the field and put on the aggression almost immediately. So POLR Coretex really showcasing a really good team play here. We almost able to secure it, but the flip from the Fool is able to keep this point alive for a whole lot longer, as we're in overtime and we only now get one barrier going down.
Yeah, one barrier down, and now that is A and Name Chaotic, though, with their flips available. Never mind, that's Wisp going to be using the Giga Blast, takes Name Chaotic off the field. We, on the other side, uses a shotgun pellet and almost gets A off the field as well. A's flip gone. That's the Fool in the corner, able to keep it out for now. We looking very low, maybe taken out in revenge. But that is Name Chaotic back on the field, almost We getting taken off, and that is the Drakkar still alive, actually, as A and Zaxmac playing a little bit of catch on the bottom side of the field. Name Chaotic taken very low, but not going to get taken off yet, as A is going to open up that barrier, and now it is an open goal for both sides. Name Chaotic gonna set up the dribble, get the secondary, the Flying Phoenix, or whatever it's called, and then get the strike down into the net. That is going to be POLR Coretex going up 2-0 in this second set.
Yeah, looking very dominant in this game. A lot of just really good team play, really good rotations here from the side of POLR Coretex that we're just not quite seeing from We's Little Bees. A lot of individually good play here from We's Little Bees, but it really does take a little bit more team play to be more than the sum of your parts to come through some of these defenses, which have been so solid from the side of the Fool and A. You can see A is right now pretty far back, but now he's forward with the Rose Warp, contesting this core in the midfield, trying to get it over to Named Chaotic, playing very close to the middle of the map, but isn't going to be punished for it, is able to dodge, is able to get a little bit of healing off the Atlas ult. Zaxmac getting tagged as well by the piercing shot. We in front of the goal, trying to get it through, but the secondary from Atlas is not enough. Aimi does die for the barrier, but that is a very good trade if you're on the side of the Bees. As long as you can stall for a little bit longer, Barrage keeps it forward as well. Wisp actually rotating all the way forward, using the eject button to go back at the end there. Giga Blast does set it up for a little bit of a dribble, gets it forward. Zaxmac back on the field now. Named Chaotic trying to get this corner dribble with the dash punch. Rose Warp as well, not going to do it. Piercing shot as well invested. That's a lot of cooldowns invested from Polar Cortex. This is the opportunity for the Bees to get it forward. Wisp is playing forward as well. Glitchtrop comes out. We trying to, but he's basically just passing back and forth with the Fool. They're not able to get the decisive victory, the decisive ability to get it through this incredible defense.
Yeah, and now, I mean, A and the Fool have been doing a great job of keeping it out. That is the Fool having to burn the flip, though, does end up getting the goal barrier on the other side, and that's We losing that flip now as well. And that is going to be both barriers open, both goals open, and very few flips on the field. But Zaxmac gets rid of one more flip, as that's going to be a kill onto A. Named Chaotic and the Fool, the only people left to defend. They're going to do it very well so far, though, as the Fool able to keep it out for now. And that's almost a goal, but great save away from Wisp with that Giga Blast. Going to be able to keep it out for now. A is back online, though. Named Chaotic doing some dribbling on the side of the field. Tries to get the Shaolin kick. Not quite, though, as an unfortunate missed Cyber Swipe is going to open up Named Chaotic for a strike. Wisp had to figure out the 50-50 and unfortunately chose wrong. And now that's the Fool getting the second MVP for himself in this game, as Polar Cortex looking very, very comfortable. 3-0 for that set. 2-0 in sets now. One more set till they take this first game. We'll see if we Little Bees can do anything about it, but for the time being, that is going to be the Fool picking up Missile Propulsion. Should be really, really nice to combo with that Siege Machine. Going to be playing on the other side of the field with those projections and the strike shot. Wisp is, however, going to be able to pick up that explosive engine. Should be very, very nice to have with that eject button. Going to let him fly all over the field with that secondary. But we'll have to see if it's going to work out, as Zaxmac also has that glass cannon. Should be pretty nice to have. Just lets him run around a little bit more. But the Polar Cortex is on a winning streak right here. They're up 2-0. We'll see if they can keep it going and get this set locked down, or if we can make their way back. Is pretty even points so far.
Yeah, pretty even overall. Zaxmac trying to get it around, but Named Chaotic just keeps picking it up every time it goes by the center hole. We trying to get it through. Named Chaotic. Cyber Swipe actually gets it forward, but again, just not into this barrier. And Named Chaotic has just been so good at these rotations, able to get it around. That's going to be the Atlas getting the kill onto Drakkar, unfortunately, so it's a power play started here for Polar Cortex. They're looking to run away with this game. They're already up 2-0 in sets. They're up 3-2 in players on the field right now. Zaxmac almost about to go off the field, but We Elite is back on this one. A doesn't get killed there, actually manages to get the kill onto the Aimi and is not punished just yet. There's no cooldowns available right now to take this Estelle off, except for the barrage, which is used defensively. It's going to be Astral Projection as well sent forward. Again, you're talking about it, that range on this ability with the awakenings that he has is just so insane. Goes forward once again. Named Chaotic with a bit of a back pass there. We trying to get it forward as well. Glitch Pop sends it backwards a little bit as well. Cyber Swipe strike is really nice. The Aimi turret as well, the Firewall Sentry. But the defense from the Fool is just impeccable. Very well use of that Kai emote there. He absolutely deserves to flash that one after somehow defending against all of that. Barrage doesn't hit the core there, unfortunately, for Wisp. And the Crystal Thorns picks it up and... What?
Oh no, that Zaxmac, I think, flicking too hard with the bows. And that's going to be an own goal to start out this third set. Is very, very unfortunate there, but hey, you take it, you move on. You accept that you made a mistake, and you go next, you know? And now they're already starting out this point flying. Zaxmac and Wisp both have that flip available. The barrier coming down for Polar Cortex, but that is going to be Wisp taken off the field, and now it's A, Named Chaotic, and the Fool up in that power play. Zaxmac looking pretty low, almost gets taken off the field by Named Chaotic, but that is going to be the barrier down now for the side of Weed's Little Bees. A and the Fool working their way up the field, trying to get something going. The Fool not quite able to get anything going. Now is A, doesn't have anything to get there, and Wisp runs it up, uses the Giga Blast, and locks in the goal after an incredible sequence of events.
Yeah, was very dicey there for the side of Wee's Little Bees, but they are able to pull it through. And, you know, maybe the last goal there was just a sacrifice to say, hey, you know, we just need to lock in. We'll just do this. We'll be able to play so much better after we just put a little bit more pressure on ourselves. We'll be able to take the barrier so easily. Wee is very close to the core flip here, does have it now. The Aimee ult is also used. Yugi Blast triggers the core flip from the Julie. That is going to be a barrier going down. There's going to be the Drakkar going down as well. No opportunities to the core flip there, which was not expecting it. Glitchpop buys a lot of time, though. Wisp able to also buy a lot of time there off of the Julie ult. Zaxmac with the strike forward with the glitch pop. Countered by the Astral Protection there, but Roger gets it forward. Once again, the Rose Orb is used. Named Chaotic running around here. Wee as well coming out here. Wisp passing up to Zaxmac, passing back down, not getting caught by the piercing shot. Really nicely done. The shotgun comes out here. Glitch pop down, countered by a strike from A. Zaxmac up the top with glitch pop and the Gig Blast as well from Wisp. Cyber Fright comes out. Barrage as well. Astral Protection whiffs. A up the top with the Rose Warp with the core flip as well. Potentially not going to use it just yet. Piercing shot used again to no effect on that one. Zaxmac passing down to the bottom here with Wee with the core flip, but the glitch pop is not able to get it forward. Again, the rotations on this map are just so quick from both of these teams. Piercing shot gets it up, but Zaxmac is available on that one. Eagle Blast gets it forward. Cyberstrike as well forces out the core flip from the Fool on this one. The goal is now open. There is no core flip on the goalie. Back passing down to Wisp. Piercing shot catches it, but so does Zaxmac. Wee dribbling on the bottom with core flip from A is just too good. Finds the angle straight through the Bees.
That's going to be Polar Coretex 1 point away from taking this first game for themselves. Named Chaotic has that flip available. The Fool and A, not much energy to their names, but they might not need it if they're able to lock it in, as Wee almost gets taken off the field, but instead it's going to be able to lock down that first barrier, and that is the side of Polar Coretex. Has an open net now, but that hasn't stopped them in the past, as A is looking a little low, not quite going to be able to get anything going yet, but Named Chaotic has the core with the flip available, almost gets taken off the field by a shotgun from Wee, but they are trying to get something going. Named Chaotic once again going to have that flip, has the dash punch, is going to be able to lock that first barrier down. Both goals open now for the side, and that's going to be Named Chaotic using the flip. Not quite able to get anything off of it, as Zaxmac doesn't have a flip either. Wisp, though, has that energy, doesn't end up using it, as Named Chaotic gets a strike right past Zaxmac, and that's going to be Polar Coretex moving their way into that first game of the series. Wee's Little Bees looked pretty good, but not quite enough, as now Polar Coretex one game up at the advantage. So close to taking their way to NASL. As we get ready for game 2, any thoughts on that game, AJ?
I just gotta say, I mean, I'm a goalie main, so I'm a little bit biased, but on that one, the Fool just absolutely showed a masterclass on goalieing. With A as well, the strike layering that they had was impeccable to be able to defend against, especially there was the one play with the Firewall Sentry coming out, and they still defended it. So well done. 102 saves on this Atlas, 204 redirects overall, the most in the game. Just playing so well on this Atlas, not really letting anything happen, because there were so many opportunities that Wee's Little Bees had where it just got to this Atlas who just stood there as a stone wall and did not allow anything to happen. And that really was, I think, the story of the game overall, because Wee's Little Bees did not play badly. There was a lot of times where they got it forward. They got these cheeky angles around the back and really surprising angles that, you know, the core just bounces crazy and you don't know where it's going, but the Fool was able to predict it every single time, just about. And that meant that there was so much more that had to be invested into that barrier, and just really well played by Polar Coretex.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Polar Coretex, just a masterclass, showing why they won NAST 2 seasons ago, why they won NASA that in this most recent season, and now why they are trying to get into NASL, trying to take flight, get this thing going, as our next game is going to be taking place on this beautiful map of Oni Village. Going to be a bit more defensive, a lot less kill-oriented than this most recent game on Aimee's. But we are going to be instead starting off with a specialized training, which, if one team chooses to maybe scale into that, could be a little scary. But of course, also that's Demolitionist, that's some size. Rasmus, a very, very good band to start off, as you really don't want that Rasmus to be up in your face with all that Demolitionist size. And now we got the first pickup for Weasel Bees. That's going to be a Kazan. Size on Kazan, basically a win condition. So we'll see how this goes. But to counteract this, we're going to see the Fool probably picking up that Kai, and then A on that pick, well-practiced pick of Estelle. As we get in the rest of the draft, any particular thing you're looking forward to or looking into for maybe picks, AJ?
I'm noticing a distinct lack of Dubu or Atlas, either picked or banned in this one, so I think we're going to see some of that coming out. But of course, you do tend to prioritize a lot of that forward pressure. Of course, with the Kai goalie, the Fool, of course, is known for that one. But a lot of opportunities here. The Fani pick is a little less conventional, I think, on Oni Village, but does potentially have some opportunities there to play, especially this Kazan now Fani comp. It's I think it's a damage comp. It's kind of a weird one, but I think they have enough damage, especially with Phineas proccing things. And especially if you take something like that specialized training, there's, I think, a lot of opportunity there, especially with something like a Kai, Estelle, Zentaro, where none of them are really known for being particularly durable. So I think this might turn into something like an Oni Village kill map, despite the fact that it is Oni Village, and despite the fact that Polar Cortex is really respecting Wee's Julie, picking away game 1, banning it game 2. So I think he might have a vengeance on this one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is an interesting draft. I think it's going to be a very unconventional Oni Village game. As you mentioned that we may be seeing an Atlas or a Dubu or a Mako, and they are nowhere to be found, except for maybe in getting some cobwebs at this point in this game. And should be very interesting is I'm curious as to what will be picked up, because you know you got Kazan, who if he is able to pick up specialized training, all of a sudden he's very, very impressive in terms of damage control, or if he has size, he is just this massive umbrella goober just right up in your face, and you really don't have many options to do anything against it. So, I mean, we'll see, because you also got, it's either Kai or Estelle goalie, probably the Kai goalie for the Fool, and against Kazan, maybe a little bit dangerous. Not the worst matchup, definitely, but can be a little scary into specialized training or demolitionist Kazan. You also have Centauro, who also could honestly go size or specialized training, probably going to be a specialized training pickup. And then, I mean, size, is never a bad thing. So, and considering on this map in particular, you get basically just one free barrier every single point for each team if the other team doesn't prioritize keeping both up. So we'll definitely see if it goes specialized training or demolitionist. I am very, very interested in what is all going to be picked up here. But overall, I'm very interested in how this game is going to play out, because it's definitely a very unorthodox Oni Village character.
Definitely is not the standard comps that you get on this one. I think we might actually see something like a demolitionist Estelle coming out here, just because she doesn't have a ton of damage on her ult to begin with. You're not really using it for damage most of the time, and she really likes cooldown reduction. And again, like you said, size is never really bad. So we might see something like that coming out here. And it actually is. It's going to be Demolitionist on Estelle and Zentaro. It's going to be the spec training on the Fool, and then Demolitionist on the entirety of Wee's Little Bees there. Wee's not so Little Bees on this one, making use, hopefully, of that size in this game. Just to make use of a little more things, we trying to use the crooked leverage there is going to be able to get one barrier, that first one. And again, you're talking about that cooling reduction is really nice for that first free barrier. But it's going to be Name Chaotic picking it up on the other side as well. One barrier for one barrier. The diagonal barriers of Oni Village. Usually it's the bottom barriers that we keep on each side, to the bottom left and the top right. Bottom in each team's perspective. But Piercing Shot is going to go a little wide here. Rosewarp actually sends it backwards, kind of a pass to Wee on that one, unfortunately for A. The Oni's Blade comes out as well. The Strike whiffs. The Gale Blast comes out as well, and it has a lot of core speed on it from that spec training. Zaxback with a great dribble there with every single ability used, but the barrage at the end is going to mean that he's just not barely able to capitalize on getting it in there. But again, Wisp now on this Fini, able to defend really well against the Estelle, and Wee able to pick up the barrier through almost the entire team there, opening up the goal here. Wee's Little Bees not looking to go quietly into this one as Wee scores the goal.
Yeah, pretty aggressive start to the match as Wee's Little Bees just slowly worked the core up the field, and were able to keep it in that top corner where you can definitely defend it as the side of Polar Cortex, but at the same time, it's also pretty difficult to get it out, and at some point it just becomes unbreakable wall versus just unbreakable battering ram, or whatever the phrase is. And ultimately one of them had to win out, and that was Wee going forward, is able to pick up that first barrier and forces the Fool's flip out, but is also going to be able to pick up the second barrier with that top spin, and has a core flip available. That is going to be a lot of damage from that specialized training. We does use that flip, though, in order to try and get the goal in, but the barrage is going to be able to keep it out for now, as very little energy on the offensive side of this Weasel Bees, but that is going to be WEEB working his way up. Oh my gosh, almost getting that goal. Great save, great dig from the Fool in order to keep it out, and Wisp going to use that flip in order to keep the barrier alive. Weasel Bees looking very, very comfortable in this second game.
Yeah, ironically, not on the map of their choosing. Oni's Village was actually the choice of Polar Cortex on this one. So kind of funny to see that one. It's also great to see this team comp from Weasel Bees really working out. They seem a lot more comfortable on it. Even little things like the now earlier striking it through the Finite ult to change the direction it comes out. Just really good, especially on this defense as well. They're able to hold in front of this Estelle and the Centauro. We trying to dribble it around here with the Barrage, but the Fool playing up. Trying to get to the bottom. Piercing shot going to go a little bit wide. Not quite getting a prediction on that one. Secondary going to come out from the now to keep forward. Crystal Thorns was also invested there. Goes back into the corners. Zentaro gets the pick up. Big finish comes out. Gets it over to A of all people. Triple take comes out. Zentaro's EI Rush is able to get it up. But again, the defense from the side of Weasel Bees is just not letting up. We, on the other side, trying to get the core into the corner here with the open umbrella. Forces the core from the Fool. And unfortunately, Wisp not able to get the connection on that card. And I think actually got the distance perfectly right. If it was just a little faster, I think that would have actually pulled the core out.
Yeah, great flip from the Fool. Was in a very dangerous position and ultimately turned it around for his own gain and was able to get that first goal for the side of Polar Cortex. Now, though, that is Name Chaotic and A managing to open up both barriers for the side of Weasel Bees and defend both of theirs for the time being. That is Name Chaotic with the flip, uses it, and Wisp card not coming out just fast enough, and that is going to be a quick 16-second point for the side of Polar Cortex. Back-to-back goals, and now they're looking very comfortable to maybe take this set in the second game.
Yeah, it appears that Polar Cortex might have picked up a little bit of that Rat Pack magic there. Never mind, they're also going to lose the Estelle there. Polar Cortex in the 2v3 now. The opportunity here for Weasel Bees to get something done, but Name Chaotic actually able to find a lot of time. They're not quite finding the barrier, but even still, if you're in the negative power play, you're just happy to stay alive and not lose everything. Wisp going to use the core flip there to keep it out of the Crystal Thorns. We not able to get it through even with the ultimate there. Zaxmat coming out as well in the bottom here. The triple take not able to get it through. Name Chaotic goes off the field there this time. It's the Zentaro instead of the Estelle, but the goal is not scored. The Gale Blast from the Fool is very timely. And we have a Wii here with core flip. Fool running forward. Triple take is able to save the bottom barrier at the cost of the top barrier on that one. The big finish comes out as well. Back pass from Zaxmack not completed, unfortunately. Wisp going along the bottom here. The Crystal Thorns does not connect. The crooked leverage up to the top. Wii with the Julie Hart patented, of course, is going to be able to bring this to a set 1.5. And I think Weasel Bees did not like the way that last game went.
Yeah, definitely. They're coming out with a vengeance now, as Wii does have that flip available for him to use. As Name Chaotic and the Fool don't have a whole lot of energy, but that is going to be the first barrier going down. Name Chaotic uses that ultimate, but isn't quite able to get anything, as Wisp and Zaxmack very good strikes. Getting the core out, trying to get the core up to Wii, but that is going to be both barriers falling now for the side of Weasel Bees. Name Chaotic uses that passive, not quite able to get anything off of it, as the Fool also burns that flip. Once again, not quite able to get anything off it. Great defense, though, from the Fool. Going to be able to get it out, but that is going to be a flip from Wii, getting both barriers down now, and Name Chaotic almost getting their flip. If one of them gets their flip, it could just be game over here for Weasel Bees, but that requires them to get one, as Wii, incredible 1v3 play, going to hit it down, use the hook. Tried and true method, just strikes it right through. Doesn't matter if the other team's about to get their flips, if the core is just going into the net.
Yeah, really well played there by Weasel Bees, and of course, Wii himself on that one. Going to pick up the Rampage there for extra size, extra Kazan. Does mean that he misses out on Prime Time, Quick Strike, and so many other goodies, but I think Rampage is probably one of the best ones just because of how much size you can get out of it. Stacks on the Kai is really nice, so the Fool's going to play up a lot and be on more of the aggression. But of all things, Hot Shot falls all the way down to the Estelle. I think that's actually going to be a bit of a sleeper pick here for Polar Cortex. Just the core speed and the cooldowns on Estelle are always so good.
Yeah, I mean, incredible awakenings across the entire field. But ultimately, I think it was pretty even in terms of who got what and like what all was gained out of it. I will say that that is a lot more cooldowns now allotted to the side of Weasel Bees, and a Kazan with this much size in your face is going to be very, very scary if he's able to get those barriers scaled. But that is going to be the Fool keeping away those barriers for the time being, and Zaxmac is looking very low on a map that you don't get a whole lot of damage on, as Zaxmac is staggered, and Wee is able to pick up that first of many Rampage stacks in this set. It's looking like Weasel Bees is very confident, but that is going to be both barriers down now for the side of Weasel Bees, and A and the Fool trying to get the core up to Name Chaotic for a goal, and it happens! Name Chaotic uses that primary, uses whatever slice and dice in order to get that goal, and Polar Coretex definitely down, but not out yet. As they keep going, they get that first goal in this second set.
Yeah, Nimkatic also finds the first barrier here, the second one as well. Core flip behind it as well with a great angle. The Fool on the backup there with the barrage, able to make sure that that is a 7-second Oni Village point. Kind of incredible, because a lot of the times, even with the one free barrier, sometimes you don't even get that one in 7 seconds.
I mean, what in the world? They lost that set and said this is not going to happen again, but it may actually happen again as both barriers go down now from a stray ability from Wisp. And that is the goal open for the side of Polar Coretex, and in similar fashion, Weasel Bees take this third point of this set, and in a 12-second point, I mean that is kind of what happens when you draft into not defensive characters. Like Kai and Finny definitely can defend, but ultimately you aren't going to see these kinds of points on a character like a Dubu or Atlas. But that is the Fool with the flip available. Name Chaotic has that evade, and Wee uses that burst, but isn't able to get anything out of it as the Fool's barrage is just too oppressive. And now it's a pretty even set here. Anyone's game.
Yeah, Name Chaotic taking a lot of damage, but able to pick up the goalie orb of Wisp there. But that's going to be the first barrier going down. I think actually we did not get credit for that barrier though, so that's not going to be the stack on that one. You know, there's technically a strategy where you can actually give up your barriers early on so you don't have the stacking. It's not a very good strategy. You don't use that one. But Wee's going to claim another stack there, being up to 2 stacks now on the Rampage. Wisp facing the Oni's Blade is just going to opt to core flip on that one. Zaxmac is going to dribble for a flip there. Estelle uses the flip as well. Zaxmac dribbling with secondary, trying to get it to Wee. Gets up to the top there in the corner, but the Fool is no fool on that one. Is able to get poured down to the bottom to the Zentaro here, but goes back up to this now. Again, now dribbling, getting some energy, getting it over to Wee, who's trying to put it through, but the Giga Blast actually stunned him for a little bit long, so he's not quite in perfect position for that one. Name Chaotic with a great pickup on that barrier is able to open up the goal for Weasel Bees, or of Weasel Bees, I should say. Zaxmac dribble again with the arrow as well, seeing it forward. He really does like that triple pattern of either strike, 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 or strike, strike, arrow, but the last one goes to the side instead of up. Either way, though, arrow sends it forward. Name Chaotic going forward with the core flip there, using face the big finish and sends it straight through. And that takes the set for Polar Coretex.
I mean, the flip was the win condition. Ultimately, you were starting to make a comeback if you are Weasel Bees, but I mean, as soon as they got it to Name Chaotic, right in there, just core goes straight by a Wisp, who unfortunately wasn't quite able to catch it out of the coin slot there. And now we're going to see a rewarded with an Aerials pick up. Zentaro, Name Chaotic rewarded with a Super Surge and some incredible awakenings for Polar Coretex. However, that is going to be Wee picking up Built Different to top off his Demolitionist and Rampage. That is going to be one massive Kazan just right up there in your face. But then the Fool, you know, picks up that explosive entrance. Has a lot more speed, could potentially just run circles around Wee here if he plays it right. So we'll see how this goes. Polar Coretex, Weasel Bees tied up 1-1 in this second game.
Yeah. We also see that 1-2 punch on the now, I think, is going to be a big pickup here, especially with the way that Zaxmac likes to dribble there. We see the goal opening up as well. We getting 2 stacks in the Rampage in very quick succession here. Pass up to neutral space from Wisp. A intercepts. Oni's Blade comes out as well. Passive on the Zentaro. Now they secure the barrier here. Crystal Thorn's tagging Wisp, meaning that he doesn't get to regenerate a little bit longer. Giga Blast also comes out as well. Zaxmac trying to get it through into the big finish as well. The Fool's Barrage is not able to get it through into the barrier here. Named Chaotic and Zaxmac up the top here trying to get something done. Piercing Shot Rose Warp combo does not get the connection, nor does the EI Rush. We trying to get forward with Crooked Leverage through the Fool, but doesn't get it. Core Flip on Zaxmac. Going to be whiffed, unfortunately, there. Triple Take does keep the core forward, though. We have Named Chaotic trying to duel and kill Wisp here. Well, we and Zaxmac are just trying to end the point so their goalie can stay alive. It's a lot of damage coming onto this Finny, who's playing up and gets the card. Kill me all you want, it doesn't matter. Still will score the goal, and Named Chaotic is just standing there, shocked, as the goalie was able to live so long and score.
Yeah, I mean, that misdirection may just be one of the best abilities for just kind of throwing you off, and that core there, the Fool, you could see it strike him out, but ultimately just that teensy little bit of a reaction was missed, and that is going to be the first goal for Wee's Little Bees picked up in this set, but that doesn't mean that they're going to win the entire set, as Named Chaotic has that flip available. Instead is going to be able to lock in that first, or that, oh my gosh. And now the flip's gone, everything going crazy, as we looking pretty low here, but is healed up by that now. And that is going to be both barriers down now for the side of Wee's Little Bees. Named Chaotic just running in there with that ultimate, going to be able to get that goal, and oh my gosh, so much happened in so little time.
Yeah, I thought it was doomed when we saw the double flip from Polar Coretex, where they kind of wasted some energy there and didn't get what they needed, but they still were able to come back in the end. Named Chaotic almost able to get a great play there, using all of the abilities to get the core forward and kind of trip up Wisp there. But Barrier stayed up longer for a little bit. Not able to get there with the Rose Warp, even Wisp on that reflex. Able to secure the barrier for a little bit longer. Zaxmac trying to get a pass over to Wee, does get it across, but it's intercepted. The Fool keeping it forward as well. Named Chaotic not quite getting the dash there either. Wisp with the triple take and the strike just to make sure that no shenanigans are able to occur. Having to use some energy there just to prevent the umbrella from killing him there from Wee. Rose Warp piercing shot and a little bit of a weird combo there, trying to hit stun the goalie, and does actually get almost the combo, but unfortunately did miss the barrier. The arrow from Zaxmac into the Crooked Leverage strike from Wee, but Giga Blast is able to secure it on the other side, defends the barrier and gets the opposing barrier as well. Wee wins the strike. We're down at the bottom here. The Fool trying to dribble in the corner, trying to buy some space here. Zaxmac running up here. With Crystal Thorns, able to get it forward for a little bit longer, but Zaxmac with the secondary. Crooked Leverage comes up to the side, but the Fool uses the barrage to get it down to the bottom. The umbrella does not kill there. Misdirection also comes out. It's going to be Named Chaotic with the core flip in front of the goal. As soon as it gets to the Centauro, it can almost certainly go in there, but he whiffs the flip, unfortunately. That gives the opportunity here for Wee's Little Bees. Big finish comes out as well. The barrage is going to whiff. Keep an eye on the Centauro passive. It's not almost going to get it through, but forces out the core flip from Wisp. Wee on the other side here. Piercing shots, gets it through, and Wisp just, even with the extra size, not quite big enough to strike that one. Great find by it.
Yeah, Wisp with that momentum boots, you're fast until you get hit, and ultimately Wisp was just kind of getting pummeled by some of those abilities and lost a lot of that speed that you may need in order to get a save like that. But that is going to be the Fool running very far up, and both barriers down now for the side of Wee's Little Bees. Flip wasted from Zaxmac, as Named Chaotic going to use that ultimate to get that, and that's going to be Named Chaotic and working together, getting that goal just straight into the net. Very fast 14-second point here, as Polar Coretex going up 2-1 in sets in this game, and now we're going into the draft, where there's a lot of great potentially polarizing games or awakenings in this draft, as the Fool going to be picking up that glass cannon. That's going to be a lot more speed allotted to that Kai, and that's going to be more abilities that are going to have to come out of Wee in order to get that glass cannon popped. But it is also going to be heavy impact 2 now, which is going to be a pretty good awakening here, and Deadeye, especially on that Vinny, is going to be massive. So, I mean, very good awakenings all picked up across all players. Anything particular in that draft as well you'd like to mention, AJ?
No, I think it was a pretty good draft all around. All the players that want speed got speed, all the players that wanted cooldown got cooldown, and all the players that wanted damage got damage. So I think the only thing that could have made it better is if there was somehow more size for Kazan to get. But no Among Titans appearing just there. And we're going to have the big finish securing one barrier and not the second on the other side of the map, as Wisp is able to get back to defense in time, helped out by Zaxmac. Giga Blast, of course, does have a lot of power behind it, especially with that new glass cannon. Pick up by Kai there. Misdirection comes out. Does get the reset there for Wisp. Wisp very low on health, trying to make it to this orb. but isn't able to actually get in. It's going to be Zentaro to pick it up. Ult from now is really nice. That lifeline able to keep the Finny in the game. Namechaotic taking a lot of damage as well. Does whiff on that dash. We trying to get forward, but again, just cannot duel this Kai just quite yet. As long as he has that barrage up. Oni's Blade comes out. Crystal Thorns as well. It's a lot of abilities used here, but the Fool up at the top there. And Zaxmac only just then got the core flip from that last hit, so was not able to use it just in time. Didn't realize he had it, I assume. Always difficult to keep track of when you actually get that last tick of energy.
Yeah, I mean, the Fool feeling very comfortable taking flight as an Namechaotic, and we were brawling it out on that defensive line of Polar Cortex's net, and that's going to be the first goal taken for Polar Cortex, but that's going to be both barriers down now for the side of Weasel Bees. All flips available, though, as A going to use that flip and catch the goal off the Rose Warp. 3 flips, 4 flips gone in rapid succession, and that's going to be 1 more point for Polar Cortex to qualify for NASL.
Yeah, Wisp with a little bit of a panic flip on that one, I think could have struck it, and did pay for that one, as the Rose Warp strike from A was just immaculate, perfectly timed on that one. We have once again some corner play here. We have the Rose Warp forward as well. The Oni's Blade coming out, piercing shot, passive from the Zentaro as well. The Eye Rush coming out. So many abilities used, but of course they do have some extra cooldown reduction with that inner focus. And the hot shot there is going to actually be WEEB taking off the field. A reset to the Rampage stacks. Triple take does buy some time here. Piercing shot. Arrow from now actually in the negative power play secures a barrier, and the Fool has to run. Just barely managed to get there in time, but that is not how you want the power play to go. Even if you get the reset, you lost a barrier, and this is the opportunity that the Bees want to get back in this game. Unfortunately, the core speed is a little bit too much, and Wisp does not get the perfect prediction there. Big Finish comes out, keeps a little bit of time on this one, and a tiny hit stun there onto Wisp is going to mean that Polar Cortex scores the goal and triumphs over Weasel Bees in Game 2 to secure their spot in NASL.
Polar Cortex locking their way into North American Strikers League Season 7. They conquered Nasty, they conquered NASA, and now they are here for those people sitting pretty up in NASL, as they dropped only 1 game over the entire day to Slime Mold Colony, and ultimately managed to lock themselves in to the NASL North American Strikers League. Looking very confident, very strong, and they looked very, very good in those games, in that whole series, and yeah, now they're rewarded with Coretex making it through to NASL.
Yeah, congratulations to Polar Cortex. Weasel Bees are going to be in NASA for the next season, potentially. They do have 1 more opportunity to make it, though, so don't count them out just yet. They have the opportunity to win 1 more best of 3, make it into NASL, and potentially get some revenge. But that will not be happening today. We're going to be going to a little bit of a break before we continue later on, but stay tuned for the final matches to decide who is in NASL and who is in NASA. See y'all around.